These are Grant Amato's jail emails. Okay, so we're going to go through them. These are in the discovery. These are my personal files that I was sent from the DA's office. They were directly sent to me. They are my files to use for this purpose. And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to go through this as we're taking a deep dive into this case. So date sent start, it says 6/6/2019. Date sent end 6/25/2019. And the first one we have is from Grant Amato to Colin, Archdeacon. Hello, Colin. I believe you stated that you were heading out yesterday, Saturday, for your 2 weeks of filming. I am sending you my blessing and hopes that your flight was safe and that your time there is productive, enjoyable, and a good learning experience. I just returned from Sunday church, and it always amazes me how hearing the Word of God and being surrounded by fellow worshipers can be both soothing and invigorating. I find that church has been energizing me throughout the week when it used to feel like more of a responsibility or chore in the past. I love this new relationship with God, and I feel at peace wherever I go. Remember how I told you that around the jail or the courtroom, everyone always recognizes me or says, "That's Amato." I can't believe I got to see him. While it still upsets me, I don't like being the center of attention because of this depressing experience in my life and the isolation it has caused with my family and friends and girl I loved. Knowing that I have God on my side and holding my hand as I enter the courtroom is peaceful. Having someone like you, who is kind and understanding of my circumstances, has also been an uplifting experience. For that, I would like to thank you. Before coming into here, I was always protected by my family. My dad always made sure we were safe and from anything and everything. And while at times we thought he was overbearing or being a tyrant, he still protected us. Sadly, his attitude would fluctuate so much. My mother made sure we were happy. We were always as happy as we could be, and she sacrificed so much to keep her boys happy. My brother Cody, whom I called my Nini, which is Japanese for big brother, I felt was my guardian angel. He never let any harm come upon me, and I did the same for him. Regardless of what anyone says, only I, me, know my family was and how daily life was. Anyone else who speaks of my family does not know anything. It is merely hearsay. I don't know why I feel the need to say this right now, but I wanted to express my love for my family and how much I miss them every day. Besides this, I also wanted to share some songs with you that always soothe my mind and soul when we go to church. Artist, Hillsong United, What a Beautiful Name, So Will I, 100 billion times, and Be Still, artist, Elevation Church, Still God, Do It Again, Oh Come to the Altar, and Here as in Heaven. Anyways, it is about to be the start of another exhausting week. I hope you enjoy your trip and hope to hear from you soon and throughout your time here about your thoughts, your days, etc. Sincerely, Grant. Okay, and then we have phone calls from Lieutenant Gatesy to Grant Amato. Recipient read, no problem at all. I was able to share the same information with your attorney, Shapiro maybe, that came to see you this morning on NPOD. Another phone call review from Grant Amato to Lieutenant Gatesy. Thank you for the update, sir. Were you reciting the numbers and the timeline of the calls? I was starting to think the attorney made an error. Regardless, thank you for looking into it, and I apologize for the added work, Grant. From Lieutenant Gatesy to Grant Amato, 6/20/2019, 7:48 p.m. The attorney that relayed the message was wrong about the phone calls that we talked about this morning. They were not yours. I reviewed the 2 phone calls from the 2 numbers you did not recognize. One was to Magic Bail Bonds, and the other started as, then you pass the phone to your cellmate, Lee. Okay, recent work. From Grant Amato to Colin, Archdeacon. July 15th is jury selection and no worries. Recent work. This was June 19th from Colin to Grant. Hey, Grant, I hear you loud and clear. Thanks for clarifying that, and I'm happy to hear that your faith in Judge Rex Seidler remains strong. Hopefully, she will continue to treat you fairly. Is July 15th another pretrial day, or is it the beginning of opening statements, etc.? Looking forward to Friday, Colin. Again, recent work, 6/19, 3:46 p.m. From Grant to Colin. Hello, Colin. First, I want to mention not to believe a whole lot that the jail has to say. While I have the other reporters and journalists in my contacts, I have not been messaging them or speaking with them since we started speaking over the phone. I hope you can find some solace in these words, because it's pretty much all I can say. This jail and sheriff's office have not been the most honest with regards to any information that pertains to me. Besides the usual slander from the usual sources, my court date went as well as it could. The media was there, and there was a mix of granted and reserved motions, and one motion denial. It is always painful to hear the accusations and hearsay and see your family against you, but I feel like I have God on my side, and my legal counsel did the best they could. I feel like they supplied a great deal of flawless and irrefutable case law, while the state just said more hearsay and opinions. The state attorney that I have seems to throw a large quantity of information in a jumbled explanation in hopes of having something randomly stick. I still have the utmost respect for my judge because she looks at the facts and takes the time to make her decisions. Unless something gets added to the docket at the last minute, it is looking like my next court date will be on July 15th. I did reserve a notice of your request and submitted it on my end. I enjoyed speaking with you, as always, and recounting about some previous stages of my life. I also enjoyed hearing about you and having a glimpse into your life as well. I look forward to our future talks and hope that everything goes smoothly with your work and plans with coming down here. Keep me updated, and I look forward to speaking with you on Friday. Sincerely, Grant. Okay, we have another one. Recent work from Colin to Grant on 6/19 at 11:57 a.m. Hey, Grant, big day for you in court. I hope you get a fair deal. Unfortunately, I have to work on a shoot tomorrow afternoon, and I will not be able to make our call at 5 p.m. I can talk at 5 p.m. on Friday, though. Does that work for you? And just a heads up that I submitted a request to film an interview with you in Seminole County Jail. I believe you will get some kind of written notice about this. We can talk more about it on the phone. It was nice chatting yesterday about Kelsey and your path through nursing school. It was interesting to hear about the kinds of sacrifices you made to pursue education. I could definitely relate. There's so much more I want to discuss. Hopefully, we can do it in person in the near future. And I just want to mention one more thing. Every time I speak with someone in the sheriff's office, they say that you've been corresponding with a different number of reporters over the past months. Obviously, you have the right to do whatever you want, but I'm hoping you can be honest with me and let me know if you're in talks with other filmmakers or television reporters. I completely understand you're wanting to explore your options. I just need to be on the same page as you before I start booking flights out to Florida. I know you're under tremendous pressure, so I don't want to add to your stress. Think it over, and hopefully we can have an open and casual conversation about this on Friday. Looking forward to updates. Talk to you soon, Colin. Okay, again, this is on 6/18, so we're going, back in time. So that's from Colin to Grant on 6/18/2019 at 11:38 a.m. Hey, Grant, thanks for understanding my past apprehensions around the issue. Upon reflection, I think I should loosen up a bit, though. So yes, I'm happy to speak more about my work and life. First off, I wish you could just go to my website, colinarchdeacon.com, because that explains everything. Once we started emailing, I naively assumed that you had internet access and would Google me to make sure I was legit. The basic gist of my career is that I started in Los Angeles as an editor on a on tiny independent movies that barely got released. Then I moved to New York to study documentary journalism at the City University. After school, I was lucky to get an internship at the New York Times, where I went on to make films for about 2 years. Today, I work as a freelance documentary filmmaker in a small Brooklyn apartment where I live with my wife, a nurse. The last project I did was on a Muslim woman in the Air Force and the kinds of obstacles they face to being treated equally. The project up in Alaska is something I am shooting on, aka cameraman, but it is not a story I found or am directing. The project with you will be the first feature-length documentary I have directed. I've been building up my skills as a filmmaker for 10 years, waiting for a time when I knew I could make a serious professional film on my own. That time is now, and I'm incredibly honored that you have entrusted me with the responsibility of telling this story. As for my life, I'm a random 34-year-old dude who grew up in rural New Hampshire and then spent his adult life living in huge cities. I am tall and I have long hair, so I probably stick out a bit in crowds, though it's impossible to stick out in New York with all the different kinds of people here. I'm a media junkie, and I have passionate relationships with all things film, music, and books. I don't cook enough or exercise enough, but I've been worse at both than I am right now. Good Lord, this is turning into a dating profile. Excited to catch up today at 5 p.m. Feel free to ask me anything. Regards, Colin. So this is 6/15/2019, 1:20 p.m. From Grant Amato to Colin Archdeacon. Status, recipient read. Hello, Colin. I know you try to avoid discussing too much about your work and your personal life on here for obvious reasons, and I respect that. This is also why I don't ask you about it over the phone, either in an attempt to respect that privacy. With that being said, is there anything more you can tell me about your past works or your most recent trip to Cali? Does your wife also work in the same field as you? I'm interested in what you do and wish I could toss some questions back your way during our convos, but I don't want to put you on the spot with the recording and all. Again, if you don't wish to speak about any of that until a later date, that's fine. Hope you're having a good day, and I look forward to our next talk. Sincerely, Grant. Okay, so this was a short one on 6/13 from Colin to Grant. Excellent. Thanks, Grant. Another short one from Grant to Colin on 6/13. Hey, Colin, glad you made it back safe. It's gloomy and raining down here as well. Hey, Colin, glad you made it back safe. It's gloomy and raining down here as well. I can call at 3. Talk to you then, Grant. Another on 6/13 from Colin to Grant. Hey, Grant, just got back to New York. It's raining and gloomy. Can we chat at 2 or 3 this afternoon? Unfortunately, I can't do 5. Sorry. Talk soon, Colin. One from 6/11, 12/10 from Grant to Colin. Hello, Colin. I'm sure you will be exhausted by the time you read this message after your busy day. Or maybe you might actually have good Wi-Fi on the flight to your Cali. I know how terrible it can be when it is advertised the plane has Wi-Fi, but I digress. Reading the call on Thursday at 5 p.m., that should be just fine. Regarding the call on Thursday at 5 p.m., that should be just fine. And if for whatever reason your schedule changes and you have to alter it, just let me know as always. I have been to California before for a week-long trip. My mother has family over there, and she has always described California as a beautiful place. While I agree that the climate and scenery is lovely, the roadways and immediate surroundings can be off-putting at times, especially at night. Plus, the boxed water instead of bottles of water has always been an eye-rolling experience. Regarding the synopsis of your film work in Alaska, sounds very interesting. I've never had the pleasure of traveling to Alaska, but I can imagine how beautiful it is up there. I would like to see your work sometime. Documentaries have always interested me. Your connection between the two societies, Alaskan village and jail life, was spot on. It has definitely helped me with my time here, being able to bond with fellow inmates and rediscover my passion for the Lord. I'm glad that everything is progressing smoothly with the court PR people, and I hope that it continues to work smoothly, and you can make your way down here. My Twitter name was DoSlight or Maybe it was Deuce Light. Honestly, I honestly can't remember how I had to spell it. But I always work a surgical scrub hat in my videos, and my avatar symbol was angel wings. My videos were always chill, but sometimes I would get excited about dumb video games, competitions. I understand your concern about the privacy of our conversations, and that is why I try to avoid asking you anything about your personal or professional life. Thank you for sharing what you have, and if you are willing to share any more, what you have shared has been interesting to hear this far. I hope your trip is pleasant and successful, and I look forward to our conversation. Sincerely, Grant. And then we have another one from Colin to Grant, 610. Hi, Grant. I'm traveling to Oakland for work tomorrow and will be super busy for a couple of days. Can we schedule a call for Thursday, 5 p.m.? And just out of curiosity, have you ever been to California? I lived in Los Angeles for many years and sometimes think of moving back. Fear of nonstop traffic jams and poison smog keep me back east for now. The brain-dead celebrity culture isn't much of a draw either. As for me, my days have been jam-packed preparing for our film and working out the details of another project in Alaska. A filmmaker friend of mine is making a documentary about a native village in the southeast corner of the state that has to be evacuated because of climate change. I filmed in the village for a couple of weeks back in March, and it was a truly unforgettable experience. The families in the village have a lot to struggle against, and the terrain is unforgiving, but it was still inspiring to see how the community survives and takes care of each other. It honestly makes me think of the way you have described the jail you are in. People banding together to help each other through tough times. Does that sound absurd to you? Maybe I misinterpreted your words, but it stuck with me when you said that you had made allies in your pod and were finding a community throughout your faith. In other news, it appears more and more likely that I'll be able to film your trial. I'm still trying to appease the powers that be, but so far everyone has been encouraging. If it all goes according to plan, you and I should be able to meet sometime in July. One thing I wanted to ask you about is your Twitch stream. I haven't been able to track down your account. Mind sharing the username? I'd love to talk more, but I'm still a bit squeamish about our letters being inevitably shared with the press. I prefer the phone for more open-ended personal discussions. Regards, Colin. And this is from Grant to Colin on 610. Hey, Colin, I enjoyed our conversation as well. We were transferred to another pod yesterday, and today began because our usual pod is being painted, so at the moment we only have one phone and only one tablet kiosk to message on, so it has to be shared between all of us, and I don't want to be rushed off the phone with you. Would it be all right to have our call tomorrow at our usual time, 5 p.m.? I only say 5 because we have dinner at 4 and we'll be back in our pod tomorrow. As far trial is concerned, I think he means as far as trial is concerned, yes, it is still scheduled for that date. I have court this Wednesday and Friday and additional days next week at the courthouse for various hearings. How was your week? Anything new with you? Sincerely, Grant. From Colin to Grant on 610. Hey, Grant, thanks for making time to chat last week. Our conversations were so interesting. If you have time, I'd like to chat with you again today at 4 p.m. Sound good? In the meantime, any news on your trial? Everything I'm being told suggests it's still likely to begin on July 22nd. Another one from Jeffrey Levkulich to Grant on 6-6. No problem, Grant. I've talked to Jeff Dowdy and was told there were no interviews. However, I noticed in the most recent emails released today by the state attorney's office that you have been conducting phone interviews by a New York journalist filmmaker named Colin Archdeacon. I was wondering if you could have the same access and maybe you could talk about the same things you told him. Was this approved? Through Jeff Dowdy? Everybody here in the Orlando area would like to hear from you. Your attorney has stated on numerous occasions that this case against you is circumstantial, and you have stated numerous times that you are innocent. If you are innocent, as you profess, can you talk about the loss of your family? Who do you think may have done this? This woman from Bulgaria that you met online. People want to know, why do you think there is a relationship there when you paid her hundreds of thousands of dollars? Some would say she was doing her job to get you to spend more money. What do you think? Why do you think it was different? These are some of the questions we have. I know some of the questions are hard, but it is what people are asking here in the area. I appreciate your time, and please let me know if a phone interview is possible. Thank you, Jeff Levkolich, Seminole County reporter, WFTV 9. This guy's a reporter, and I don't know, he spelled the word here wrong, but okay, there's a little thing of, all right. Then we have 6/6/2019. This is from Grant to Jeff. I'm going to call him Jeff L. Thank you for your outreach, but you have to direct these requests through my attorneys, Grant. This is on 6/6 from Jeff L to Grant. Morning, Grant. Writing to see if you would be interested in a phone interview. I've been reporting on your case since the beginning for WFTV. This would be a good opportunity to get your side of the story out there if you would like. Please write me back to let me know if that is something you would like to do. And then he leaves his contact information. And that is that for those emails.